Section 2.5, example 7, solving a quadratic equation using the square root property. Solve the quadratic equation. 4x squared plus 1 equals 7. All right, so we have this equation. It looks like we could potentially get it to square root property, but let's see. Let's try to solve for our variable first. So solving for our variable, this is the term with the variable, so we're going to move everything else over to the opposite side. So minus 1 both sides. That leaves us with 4x squared is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 4 to get x squared by itself. And it looks like we could factor out a 2 from the numerator and denominator. Notice that both the numerator and the denominator are divisible by 2. So that leaves us with 3 over 2. And from here, we could take the square root of both sides. Just like in the previous problem, we said that we could square root both sides in order to get rid of this square. And perfect, because the square root and squares simplify and we're left with just x on the left side. Remember, this is x squared that we're looking at, so we have to give it the possibility of it being a negative number, and that when we squared both sides, it ended up turning it positive. So here we have plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2. We don't like having square roots in the denominator, so we're going to fix that. Let's separate the numerator and the denominator. So we have the square root of 3 over the square root of 2. To get rid of the square root in the denominator, we're going to multiply by the square root of 2. When we're multiplying these square roots, we can multiply the insides. So that leaves us a plus or minus the square root of 3 times 2 is 6 over the square root of 2 squared is 4. And it looks like we could simplify this denominator down here. So square root of 6 over the square root of 4 is 2. And that's it. There isn't any more simplifying that we could do. There is nothing we could do here. We can't simplify these two and turn this into the 3 because this 2 is not underneath the square root. If it were, then we could simplify it, but then we would end up right back up here and having to do all that work all over again. But that's it. Our solutions are x is equal to plus or minus. So those two solutions of square root of 6 over 2. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.